Hey guys, thanks for watching another video. I'm going to show you how I made this Texas keychain, and I will link in the description box below the website that I use so that way you can see the other keychains that they have. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to be using the Cricut website. That's the software that I have, so I'm going to be using that. And the website that I ordered the keychains from also comes with SVG files for the different machines, so that way you have the file that you can just already upload onto your system and have it ready to cut out. They do recommend sizing it down just a little bit, so that way you don't have any overlapping areas if you didn't get to attach the vinyl on correctly. So for me, thankfully, the one that I've done, I did the exact measurements which they provided for me, and it adhered and attached very well to the keychain. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I have my Texas ready, and I'm actually going to be uploading a monogram that I have on my phone. So I'm going to go to the upload screen, and I'm going to browse for it there. So it has this really great upload screen where you can upload files that you previously downloaded from Etsy or online, and this one came from my phone, so I'm just going to look for the file, and once I find it, I'm going to upload it, and that way I can make sure it's a clean cut. I use the Monogram app just to create the monogram here. And you can do the same thing. So this is just going to be a simple image, so I'm going to click this simple image, continue, and then here you're going to want to take away the areas that you don't want it to cut, which is basically everything but the initials. So I'm clicking away, and I'm going to have my beautiful monogram ready to cut. Once I click away every section that I want it to take away, and you can even hit preview on the bottom of the screen, and then it shows you how your image is going to cut. So that's how I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. It gives you two options. You can do a save as a print and cut image, or you can just do as a cut image, which is what I want. And I'm going to save the file. If you were to have done a print and cut, it would have printed from your printer, and then you would load it into your Cricut machine, and then it would cut around the printed image. But I just want to cut straight onto my vinyl, so that's why I did a cut only file saving. So I'm going to upload the file, which is, I'm going to click on the file, and I'm going to insert image, and here it is. Of course, it uploaded too big because it is oversized. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, move it all over, and then I'm going to highlight just the monogram. See, just the monogram that I've highlighted, and I'm going to resize it just by clicking on one of the corners and dragging it in until I find the size that I want. The only thing that I noticed that I'm not quite happy about is the Monogram app put the E and the A too close together. So what I'm going to try to do is bring in my S a little bit. So I'm going to hide the Texas by clicking on the Texas, and over on the right hand side, let's scoot it over a little bit, you can click on the I and it'll hide the image. If you click on the I again, it'll bring it back up. So I'm going to hide that for right now, and I'm going to try to see if I can move that S over a little bit. So I'm going to click on the image, and what I'm going to do, this is how I find easier for myself to detach images, because this is one file, there's not multiple layers. I'm going to have to detach it myself. So I'm going to insert a square. It's usually what I find the best. And with my square, I'm going to completely cover the S. Then I'm going to click on select all on the top of my screen, and it's going to select the square and the monogram image. And on the right hand side, you're going to have an option on the very bottom, and it says slice. So I'm going to slice that off. Now I'm going to exit away my square because I don't need it. I'm also going to delete one of the S's because it sliced it out of the square. And now I'm left with a S that's just free to move around wherever I want it to. So I'm actually going to make it a little bit closer. I'm going to move it a little bit closer to the rest of my image. So I'm just zooming in so that way I can see a little bit better what's going on. I'm going to place my A on the line so that way I can line it up on the same line. And what I'm going to do is let it touch. This A is touching the E on the bottom, but of course my S can't touch on the bottom without it being too much inside, which I don't like that. So I'm just going to let it touch the E on the top. Just a little. So I'm going to select all by highlighting the whole image, or you can go to the top and hit select all. So I'm going to select all so that way it grabs the S and the E and A, and over here you can tell that they're both highlighted on the screen. And then what I'm going to do is hit weld, and now it's one single image, and I like that a lot better because it looks more connected, more put together. So I'm going to bring my Texas back up. I'm going to click on the eye again, and now it's back, and I'm going to see my sizing and how I like it. And actually I really like the way that looks. I think it fits perfect in there just the way it is. So I'm actually ready to cut. So I'm going to get my vinyl ready. I'm going to be using two different vinyls, one vinyl for the Texas and another vinyl for the monogram. Ready to cut my image. I have my vinyl onto my mat, and I'm going to go to the Make It. So I'm going to click on the Make It button, which is on the right hand top side of the screen, because I don't want it to cut at the same vinyl. It's going to load it onto two different mats. The first mat is the monogram, and the second mat that it wants you to load is the actual Texas shape. So it's going to cut the monogram first. Okay, so I have it on the right setting of my machine, which is vinyl. I'm going to be using an Oracle 651, and I want to make sure that I have it set to the right setting so that way it cuts it out correctly. I do, so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue on my screen. And I've already loaded my mat, so I'm going to wait for it to tell me that it's ready to cut, and I'm going to hit the cricut symbol. So it's ready to cut. Okay, it finished cutting the monogram, so it asked me to unload it, which I did. Now I loaded on my Texas monogram vinyl. So I've already loaded the mat, and now I'm going to hit the Cricut button for it to continue to cut the monogram, for it to continue to cut my file, which is the Texas. Okay, so I have both of my cut images. This is the monogram and this is the Texas. So now what I'm going to do is something that we call weeding. I'm going to use this Cricut tool, which looks like a hook, and I'm going to weed away the parts that I do not want. So for this, I'm going to look on here and see where I can pick up a corner and start to take it off. Then I took off the little hole that I need to put my hardware into. And for me, I just like to make a cleaner image. That way I'm not using too much of my transfer tape. I like to cut away what I don't need. And so sometimes on these more intricate images, which is the monogram, you're going to have to use your Cricut tool to kind of your scraper to scrape down onto the image, so that way when you're trying to weed away the parts that you don't want, it doesn't accidentally lift up. So I'm going to hope that this time around it does a good job. So again, I'm going to look for a corner where I can pick up and it's not going to hurt the image, and take away what I don't want. Cricut sells its own transfer tape, but I think it's pretty expensive, so I actually found this roll at my local vinyl shop, and that's what I'm going to be using today. Okay, again, you're going to want to use your scraper, scrape down, and make sure that the transfer tape picks up on your image. Okay, and it did. Looks pretty good. So I have both of them on with transfer tape, and now what I'm going to do is take my Texas and I'm going to get ready to decorate it. Okay, so all you want to do is try and remove one of the sides. I like to use my nails because they're pretty long and they can pick up on things. If you use your weeder to do that, just be careful that you don't scratch the acrylic. This is just basically a sticker, so it comes up pretty easy and it doesn't leave behind any residue. Okay, and then I'm going to do the front side. So now I'm going to remove my image off of the backing and I'm going to attach it onto my Texas keychain. What I find is if you can line up the holes, then it usually fits pretty well and everything's nice and symmetrical. My scraper. And this time you want to scrape it down with a lot of pressure and for a good bit, because this is where it counts. This is how it's going to attach, and you want to make sure that there's no air bubbles. If there's any air bubbles, you just want to squeeze them out of there. Okay. So now I'm just going to slowly peel away my transfer tape. Now here what you're going to want to do is line it up so that way it's not crooked, of course, and so that way everything's fitted inside and pretty even. Okay, so they carry different colors of tassels, and I'm just going to see what I like best. Okay, so I'm just going to take a pair of pliers. I actually bought this in the jewelry section at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to open it up so that way I can put it inside of here. And I'm going to leave this open for right now so I can attach it to the actual keychain. Be having up new videos every Monday, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button with the notification so you can know when I'm going to be doing different crafts. I appreciate y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon.